Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as I said, that fund convention is also an IMO convention like STCW, load line, tonnage, Solus, MARPOL, CLC. It is like any other convention of IMO. So when a country decides to follow it, decide and ratify that, it practically implement, all that procedure is same. They make it part of the country's national law.
Sir,
Now, go ahead.
this IOPC, which is dealing with this all, managing this all fund, so it is directly governed by the IMO.
I will not say that it is governed by IMO. IMO provided the platform like it does for development of all the conventions. So IMO provided the platform for discussion and development of the fund convention. When the fund convention came into force, it became a law worldwide. And the law of the fund convention in the written text, it had that there will be a body called the IOPC fund, which will be managing the fund on its own. So they are an independent body. Their connectivity with IMO is through the fund convention. IMO directly does not sit on top of them.
Okay, sir. So both are doing independently their jobs.
Absolutely. Just to tell you, it was, I think, around 2000, it was something around 15, 17 years ago. IOPC decided to buy its own building or lease a building. Till then, for almost 30 years, they had taken on rent or lease a floor in the IMO headquarters at London. They were operating from there, but they were independent. The connectivity was there. So after that, they decided, okay, we need to have a completely independent physical building. So they went separate within London itself. So that was just a piece of information. Okay.
And sir, one thing more, as CLC, we have the CLC certificate on board and insurance also. So that insurance is blue card. For fund convention, is there anything, any documents?
No. Very good point. That is what is the theme on which your very important question is based in your oral, which I'll be doing it today in this lecture. So your question will be answered automatically. But very good point.
Sir, and one thing more, we are calling the blue card. So it is anything history behind this? Why we are calling blue? Blue card.
Okay, first of all, blue card is to do with the P&I third party coverage. I think it is because there is a private kind of a document, let's call it a certificate also, by the P&I that, okay, the ship is with so-and-so P&I club. So that document is very light blue color. So it has come to be known as a blue card. Blue card is only associated with third-party insurance coverage provided by the particular P&I club. Nothing to do with CLC.
So the color they have used has no important.
It was their own thing, the P&I thing. Which batch are you? Because you're the March batch, right?
February, sir. Feb batch.
Sorry, Feb batch. I have not. Have I done the insurance with you? Not yet.
No, sir. No, sir.
So there will be a complete separate lecture on P&I Club. All of this will be answered. I'll tell you also why the P&I Club premium is fixed on 20th of February. There is a historical background to it. Why it is called a blue card. It is called they provide coverage for third party damage. Third party, that means who are the first party, who are the second party. I'll be taking care of all of that. अभी मैंने cover ही नहीं किया.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. At the moment, you can see the blank slide. Yes. Now, Let's take the case of India. India has signed for the Fund Convention. They have made the Fund Convention part of the Merchant Shipping Act. It is a law in India. So any country that decides to implement the Fund Convention, like India, once that is done, then it is the responsibility of the government of that country to give full style details of all the contributors in their country. To whom? To IOPC headquarters at London. Now in India, details of all the importers of crude oil is maintained by Ministry of Petroleum. So this exercise happens between middle of February to middle of March every year. We were almost on the verge of finishing. Let's, for our simplified understanding, let's say there are 3 contributors in India, meaning they have imported more than 150,000 metric tons of oil in the previous year. One, let's say there is Reliance Industries Limited. They have imported, let's say, 10 lakh metric ton. They import much more. Their refinery is in Gujarat. They import much more, but let's say they have imported last year 10 lakh metric ton. There is ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Commission. Let's say they have imported 25 lakh metric tons. IOC, Indian Oil Corporation, they have imported, who are the biggest importer, 50 lakh metric ton. Now, they all are contributors because they have imported more than 150,000 tons. So therefore, this figure of 10 lakh, 25 lakh, 50 lakhs respectively automatically is the contributing oil figure. So between middle of February to middle of March, or the Ministry of Petroleum will send all this information of all the contributors as well as the respective contributors contributing oil figure to IOPC. IOPC will receive this information from all the contributors in various countries who have signed for the Fund Convention are following it. They will also be sending it to IOPC. So IOPC has for 1 year the total contributing oil figure based on the sophisticated formula, etc., and the realistic projection for next year. Let's say 1st April 22 to 31st March 23. They have projected from the formula whatever XYZ billion dollars they must have stand by. That many $billion standing by divided by the total contributing oil figures of all the contributors around the world, they come to a dollar per metric ton figure for contribution. Let's say this year the dollar per ton contribution figure is 30 cents, $0.3 per metric ton. This figure is put up on their website and conveyed to all the 2 million contributors around the world. So in case of Reliance, 10 lakh multiplied by 0.3, whatever the dollars, they will directly transfer to IOPC and inform the Ministry of Petroleum. ONGC, 25 lakh multiplied by 0.3, whatever the dollar figure, they transfer directly to IOPC, inform Ministry of Petroleum. And similarly, Indian Oil Corporation, 50 lakh multiplied by 0.3, they transfer the money to IOPC. Similarly, all the contributors in X, Y, Z countries of the world, they do this. For next year, money is standing by with IOPC to take care of what? In case any of these oil pollution incidents, unfortunately, if it happens, we are talking about the yellow fellow and the blue fellow, where the amount required is more than what the crude oil tanker owner under CLC has paid. If any incident, this or this happen, then the money is standing by with IOPC to take care of it. That is how the money is generated at IOPC. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's understand how the IOPC functions, because sometimes the oral is asked, in question it is asked कि भाई अगर कोई incident ऐसा हुआ which was like this red fellow, which were taken care of by the P&I club on behalf of the oil tanker owner, the matter did not reach that way कि भाई ये जो भी जो 1-2 billion dollar थे ये तो खर्च ही नहीं हुआ, तो इनकी तो ऐश है. No. How does it function? It is not a profit organization. They are there, the money is there, we don't make profit. Let's take 3 years. Oh, sorry. I'll be doing this also. Let's take 3 years. 2018, 2019, and 2020. And the year is always 1st April to 31st March next year. Based on our this $0.3 per metric ton, because it was IOPC had calculated that for next year we must have a $2 billion standing by with us, and to get that the contributing oil figure was 0.3. They got $2 billion. So in 2018, IOPC had $2 billion on 1st of April 2018. Now let us assume that the year 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019 was the worst year in crude oil pollution history. There were 10, 15 oil pollution incidents. All were big, where IOPC also had to pay money to settle the remainder of claims after the oil tanker owner through his P&I club had done. Fortunately, in all the 9, 10 incidents, everybody got what they had claimed. But by the end of year, the money left with IOPC was zero. And again, based on their calculation, they said that we need to have another $2 billion. So for that year, instead of 0.3, the contributing oil figure was $1.42 per metric tons in order to create the required $2 billion. All the contributors, they contributed. $2 billion was there. So they were ready for next year, happily. Let us assume the next year, 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020 was an excellent year for oil pollution, that there were some few oil pollution incidents, but there were small incidents like shown in red here, that they were taken care by the oil tanker owner through his P&I club, the matter did not reach here. It was a good year as far as IOPC was concerned, meaning that the $2 billion was not spent. It was transferred as it is for next year. So you may say, sir, उस साल तो zero contribution होना चाहिए. You would be right, but in 1971, the developers of the fund convention at IMO, during discussion, they were very smart. They said the annual expenditure for running the headquarters of IOPC, we will take it out from this contribution. That is whether paying the rent of the building, all the infrastructure costs, Bijli, Pari, computer system, the salaries of the employees, everything, running the cost is coming from this year. So therefore, if $2 billion is transferred, that year they will only ask, they meaning the IOPC, IOPC will only ask the contributing figure for next year's annual running cost, that it can be as low as hardly 3 cents. 3 cents per metric ton, which the contributors they pay. And IOPC does not keep the $2 billion in cash in a bank. No. They invest it in the market, and there have been actually number of years that the market was so good that IOPC earned a large amount of interest, which was sufficient as the next year's the running cost. That year, the contributing figure has been zero. Nobody is required to seek it. Our $2 billion is there, which we require. For the next year's running cost, जो last year जो market में $2 billion invest किया था, उसके interest से इतना पैसा आ गया कि that is more than sufficient for the annual running cost of IOPC headquarters. So why do we need? We are not making profit. That is how the IOPC functions. Now, up till now, are you with me?
So, but if this is the case that in 2018 they had a compensation amount of 4 billions and 2 billions they are having, so will they pay from their own pockets, or
Because that is taken on a very case by case basis if they have got extra funds earned from interest. The question is, when they do the calculation of the 2 billion, as I said, they are taking the worst case scenario of this amount. That in any incident, the worst case scenario for IOPC is preparation for 203 million minus 4.5 million. And when the requirement for payment is more than 203, they will reduce it to ensure that it is not more than 203. It has not happened, but that provision is existing. They will not suffer the loss because they are not making a profit. They are not a profit organization. The loss is distributed among all the people making the claim. Got it?
yes, about it, sir? One more, sir. Sir, if in case
बेटा थोड़ा अपना volume बढ़ा दो. You are this thing. You are very clear, but you are not very loud. I can hear you properly.
okay, sir. Okay. Sir, if in case they invested in the market and they suffer a loss,
So
then
in that, that's the point. But that time, as a running cost, by our running cost के हिसाब से क्या कहते हैं भाई, in any case they are charging for the annual running cost of the headquarters. और अगर interest से loss हुआ, so instead of 0 they will charge this much. Basic, absolute basic running cost to cost they will charge, that's all. So no problem in that. You can say अगर market investment से interest का फायदा हुआ, that is an error and safe side for everyone, IOPC as well as all the contributors. भाई इस साल कुछ नहीं करना पड़े. Correct?
Okay, sir.
Now, I had a question about, I had one point about IOPC. Let me think, I just forgot before I come to, Now, I want you to write 2 or 3 very common questions which are in oral. I'll make you write the question and 4-5 line answer, because orals is very short answer. Okay, so tell me when you are ready to write.
Sir, ready.
Okay, and on top you write oral Q&A. मतलब oral में पता. Question number 1. If the flag state, or if you are comfortable with flag country, both are same. If the flag state of the oil tanker is not party to, but in case if you have a confusion, not party to mean they are not following that. So that is what it is. If the flag state of the oil tanker is not party to CLC, what is the implication? That is the question. Now the answer. See, as a recap to Jan, but Feb, March, I'll be taking that role of flag state and port state, etc. Just to tell you, when a country signs and practically implement the convention, the first thing is the country makes the convention part of its national law. They cut and paste the convention. Like India's national law dealing with shipping is the Merchant Shipping Act. As part of Merchant Shipping Act, we have all the conventions which India has followed as in the form of rules. STCW rules, LSA rules, FFA rules, ISM code rules, MLC rules, CLC rules, fund convention rules, all that. They just cut and paste it as it. And in the text of the CLC, it is written that the oil tanker owner is required to maintain a compulsory insurance, and as a proof of that, the oil tanker is required to carry a CLC certificate, the format of which is given in the appendix to the CLC convention, Civil Liability Convention. That is now cut and pasted in MSA. So when the tanker owner, Indian tanker owner, gets that letter from the P&I club to DG Shipping, because DG Shipping, matlab directorate, the whole office, is responsible for ensuring the implementation of MSA on Indian registered ships, which contain the CLC. So again, that letter, it is the Maritime Administration of India that at DG Shipping, they issue the CLC certificate. That is the process. Now, if India was not party to CLC, that means CLC would not have been part of the Merchant Shipping Act. So, किस basis पे DG Shipping will be able to issue a CLC certificate? भाई मेरे country का law ही नहीं है. Are you with me till here?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So, with that background, write down, if the flag state of the oil tanker is not party to CLC, therefore, the flag state will not be able to issue the required CLC certificate to the oil tanker registered in the country and in the absence of CLC certificate, on board the oil tanker, comma, the oil tanker can be denied entry into any port. Got it? Written down? Tell me when you have
Can you
written
repeat
down.
the first line?
Say again, better.
So can you repeat the please first line, sir? First line I missed actually, network problem.
Okay, no problem. If the flag state of the oil tanker
Sir,
is
question I have
not,
written, sir. Sir, answer
no,
CLC
I'm
is the.
talking about the answer. I started the answer now. If the flag state of the country of the tanker is not party to CLC, then the flag state will not have the law to issue the CLC certificate to the oil tanker registered in the country. That was the first sentence of the answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now, question number 2. If any port country is not party to CLC, then what is the implication? This is the question, the answer. Since I'll bring this slide here. Since the focus of CLC is on the oil tanker owner. Since the focus of CLC is on the oil tanker owner, please doubly underline this. Since the focus of CLC is on the oil tanker owner, there is no implication for the port country because if the tanker is involved in an oil pollution incident, the first money is always paid by the oil tanker owner through the P&I club. Have you written this?
Yes, sir. Sir, one question, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, if the oil pollution incident happened because somebody manning the ship, owner is not manning, so it is happened due to the fault of the ship crew. So who will pay, sir, in this, owner or the manning company?
Okay. This is actually a very high level question you have asked because I'll have to use the ISM code to answer this question, and ISM code is not in your syllabus. It is done in detail in ASM level. But to answer your question, one of the biggest changes that have come after ISM code was the definition and concept of ship owner. Because historically, until today, the maritime law around the world only mention one term, and that is the ship owner, registered owner of the ship. ISM changed that. They said, henceforth, ship owner means any person or any company that is responsible for day-to-day management and operation of the ship is the ship owner. So therefore, after ISM code, a ship owner could be actual ship owner if he's running a ship. It could be a ship manager. It could be a ship management company. It could be a bareboat charterer. It could be a demise charter. As far as now the maritime law after the ISM code is concerned, any one of them is a ship owner and the focus becomes them. So to answer your question, if it is a ship management company, as per the definition of ship owner under ISM code, they are the owner, they will have to pay.
Okay, sir. So management company has to pay.
Absolutely.
As of now.
Now, just to further simplify it, better. I mean, there are many management companies like Dynacorp, Fleet Management, Executive Ship Management, and I don't know, so many. And if you have sailed with them, जो आपके जो SMS मैनुअल होते हैं, उस पे जो लोगो और टाइटल मैनेजमेंट कंपनी का होता है, शिप ओनर का तो नहीं होता है ना, करेक्ट?
Yes, sir. Correct, sir. Management company का.
Exactly. तो क्योंकि as per ISM code, बेटा तुम हो ship owner. As far as the concept of ship owner is concerned, you are the one as per law who's responsible. कुछ हुआ तो तुम्हारी गर्दन तुमको कोर्ट में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा. Ship owner विजय माल्या हो, वो ऐश करता है, वो he will not be done. Person or company day to day response. इसीलिए मैनुअल उनके होते हैं. Got it? जब ASM में आओगे ना तो I take ISM code तो काफी detailed analysis will be doing. But at the moment, your question has been answered.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just to explain the second question answer, कि भाई कोई implication नहीं होगा. Suppose, let's say, एक oil tanker that is registered in Panama. Panama is party to CLC. That oil tanker owner is, sorry, that oil tanker is having the valid CLC certificate. Say the oil tanker comes to India. Let's hypothetically say India is not party to CLC. India is, but let's say India is not party to CLC. ठीक है? इंडिया ने कहा, पहले आप इंडिया के पोर्ट में कहा कि भाई पहले आप अपना CLC सर्टिफिकेट भेजिए कि भाई वी वांट टू बी श्योर कि आपका पैसा आपके P&I के पास स्टैंड बाय. ठीक है? India is not party to CLC. Now that Panamanian tanker is involved in an oil pollution incident in India. तो बेटा पहला पैसा तो ऑयल टैंकर ओनर थ्रू इस P&I क्लब ही दे रहा है. तो कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा है कि इंडिया इज पार्टी टू CLC और नॉट. इसका ये मतलब हुआ. तो देयर इज नो इम्प्लीकेशन. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
थर्ड क्वेश्चन which will answer your thing कि भाई फंड कन्वेंशन में कुछ सर्टिफिकेट होता है, that. And the third question is the most important question as far as your oral is concerned. I will make you write the question, but it will require 10-15 minute explanation. I will take it in lecture number 6 today. And also in lecture number 6, I'll be taking how are the claims presented. Very, very, very common question in oral. So, pehle we will just write the question number 3. If a port country or a coastal country is not party to the fund convention, then what is the implication? This is the question. It requires a lot of explanation. I'm not saying difficult, but simple terms. We will do that. We will continue in lecture number 6. And today, we will 100% complete CLC and fund. Are we good, guy?
Yes, sir. One question, sir.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, in fund convention, the IOPC is calculating all the money, contributing oil money figure. So it has to be always $203 million. If like previous year it is not useful, so next year we will contribute a little to make it 203 only. That is correct, sir?
Beta, to answer the question being, this whole mechanism, I said it is applicable for one single incident. मतलब एक इंसिडेंट होता है तो टोटल मनी CLC plus fund will always be 203 because this is written in the law of fund convention. This cannot be. अगर चेंज होगा तो अमेंडमेंट से चेंज है. Point number 1. IOPC, keeping this in mind for a single incident, when they do their calculation, they take the worst case scenario कि भाई मान लो एक इंसिडेंट होता है, हमारा इन्वॉल्वमेंट आएगा इस सेकेंड टियर में. पहला टियर में तो ऑयल टैंकर ओनर थ्रू पीएनआई क्लब दे रहा है, हमारा इन्वॉल्वमेंट यहां आएगा. नो, हमारा इन्वॉल्वमेंट जब यहां आएगा तो वर्स्ट केस सिनारियो क्या होगा कि हमको सबसे ज्यादा पैसा देना पड़ेगा. दैट विल बी 203 मिलियन माइनस 4.51. ये वर्स्ट केस सिनारियो है फॉर द आईओपीसी फंड. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is correct, sir.
तो उसी हिसाब से दे यूज दिस डेटा इन द फॉर्मूला कि भाई इतने पैसे हमारे पास होने चाहिए एक साल के लिए, अगले साल के लिए.
Yes, sir. And one thing more, sir. In this graph, if the ship is gross tonnage is less than 5,000 GRT and the oil pollution occur, and the oil pollution cleanup cost is around more than $4.51 million, so who will pay?
If it is less than 5, better, this whole mechanism, meaning CLC plus fund, is applicable for tankers 2,000 gross tons and above. मैंने यहाँ लिखा है ना, start point is not 0, it is 2,000. Correct? So less than 2,000 gross tons, this whole thing is toilet paper, it does not exist. Now to answer your question, okay, what if the tanker is less than 2,000 tons, which are basically like bunker barges? I will be answering, putting this question and giving you the answer.
Sir, I think this is 2,000 tons. Who will carry minimum? The tanker who is carrying 2,000 metric tons of oil.
No, not oil, gross ton, beta, gross ton. Gross ton. ये सारे gross tons हैं बेटा. We did this, what the application was when we were doing this gross ton. भाई ये पूरे ऑयल पोल्यूशन कॉम्पनसेशन की जो कहानी शुरू होती है क्रूड ऑयल टैंकर 2000 ग्रॉस टन का होगा तभी ये कहानी शुरू होती, करेक्ट? और
सर इससे भी बिलो 2000
हाँ,
जीआरटी से भी, उसमें भी फिर अगर हो जाए पोल्यूशन, फिर इन
तो
केस
वो
फिर
बेटा मुझे ये फीलिंग होती है कि तुम सब लोग सो स्मार्ट कि मेरी तो जरूरत ही नहीं है. आई विल बी putting this question as part of the oral Q&A in the lecture number 6 and giving the answer कि उस केस में क्या होगा. We are on the same traffic lane in the TSS, but your question will be answered. Okay, what kind of tanker can be less than 2000 gross ton और फिर क्या होगा? I will take care of.
yes sir.
But इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? ठीक है, keep this in mind, minimum 2000. Now, when we are talking about ये कहानी शुरू होती है 2000 gross, 2000 gross ton. This whole thing become visible only here. तो जब 2000 एंड अबव का टैंकर, आप कह सकते हैं कि सर फंड कन्वेंशन का ग्रॉस टन से लेना देना नहीं, तो ये 2000 का टोटल में कोई कंफ्यूजिंग है. कंफ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज कहानी पूरे ऑयल पोल्यूशन कॉम्पनसेशन मैकेनिज्म में कि CLC एंड फंड कन्वेंशन दे आर मैरिड टुगेदर. डिवोर्स हो ही नहीं सकता उनका. पहली बात तो ये है. और दोनों में से क्योंकि पहला टियर जो है इस CLC, और जहां हमने CLC मेंशन किया, द स्टार्ट पॉइंट इज 2000 ग्रॉस टन. और if applicable, IOPC fund will come into play in these two cases.